Yeah, this, I'm out. Have you guys ever had this experience? Seeing a Reaper for the first time and think, why would anyone subject themselves to this? But... well, yeah, so even though this game gave me severe thalassophobia, it has been one of the best gaming experiences I've ever had. No, help! Oh my god, help! Oh my god, no, I had this game, no! And it has been 10 years. What the fuck? Yeah, 10 years since the original Subnautica came out, and 5 years since Below Zero came out. So, a really long time. And Subnautica 2, or 3, depending on how you look at it, is just over the horizon. Probably. And I've got some ideas of what Subnautica 2 will be like. Subnautica 3 will take the player back to 4546B, on purpose this time. You will be going to an uncharted area of the terrifying water planet, where a hidden architect civilization has been discovered. You and a crew of intrepid explorers fly from the nearest interstellar phase gate, and then as you fly past, you get a strange energy signature from the crater where the Aurora originally crashed.
It's coming from the building? Change course. Set thrusters to full.
Someone has reactivated the quarantine enforcement platform. You perform evasive maneuvers, but ultimately get struck. So you, and depending on whether you have friends or not, which I have, up to another 3 people, get in a life pod and descend to the planet. Your entire ship gets blown apart and it all comes crashing down to the planet. Well, shit, here we go again. Also, as you can probably tell, I am not a story writer, so that's the last story you'll hear today. Fuck. So in this new uncharted area of 4546B, there will mostly be all new biomes, with the exception of a few, like the creep vines, safe shallows, and lava zone, because the creep vines and safe shallows contain key starting materials, and the lava zone is just cool, I don't know, and useful, I guess. This biome used to be a lush green land, but now it is barren, covered with architect drains. These drains create ginormous whirlpools that can suck players in if they get too close. However, players can utilize the speed generated in the whirlpool and fling themselves outwards. A new aggressive creature lives here and has adapted to the whirlpools and used them to fling themselves at high speeds to bite players. So, in case you haven't guessed, I used AI to generate these images because my art skills are worse than KSI's new song. With this image, ChatGPT could not get the floor right, but it's supposed to be sandy and dirty. An ancient city, long abandoned, made of a strange type of metallic material. Some structures have a magnetic force that can pull in vehicles and other metal objects. Due to the corrosion of the metal structures, the water is toxic and will damage players and corrode vehicles without the proper protection. New creatures in this biome are made of metal, robots made by an ancient race of architects to protect the city. A surreal-like biome with reflective surfaces. Includes open spaces and smaller caves, giving a mirror maze-like experience. New creatures in this biome can turn their skin reflective to disguise themselves for short bursts. The reflective surfaces give a great view of all the creatures around you, but sometimes you might not want to know. A creepy ghost forest with translucent trees and bluish fog, like the Ghost Tree Cave in the Lost River, but a whole biome. Has juvenile ghost leviathans sparsely scattered around the biome. Because of the composition of the water molecules in this biome, it is not necessarily always dark, because the trees give off light, but you can't see terribly far away. A ginormous man-made glass dome in a remote, faraway location on the surface. It contains 2 biomes in the dome. the island from the original Subnautica, and the Arctic from Subnautica below average. Weather is simulated in the dome, so it snows in the Arctic and rains on the island. The creatures in the dome are in their respective biomes and were used for behavioral research by the architects. Now this isn't bored as in, oh, this video is boring me, but bored as in drilled. Just like your mum. It's a maze of large 30-meter wide tunnels bored by some very large creature. On the edges of tunnels are smaller tunnels, probably bored by a smaller creature. These tunnels can be used to hide when the new Leviathan comes crawling out. What's the new Leviathan, you may be asking? Well, the spider Leviathan is a new type of Leviathan that lives in the bored tunnels. It crawls up and down the tunnel using its many legs, and then if it spots you, it will quickly jump out and eat you, killing you instantly. That is why the smaller tunnels are there on the sides, so you can hide if you hear it coming. Because trust me, you'll know if it's coming. Oh, fuck. So I didn't really think of much for this section, but basically... Oh my god, it's so cold. Oh my god, it's burning. Oh. So, as you might have guessed from before, depth will play a much bigger part in this game. In this new area of the crater, the depth can... What did I write there? The depth can deeper. Okay, let's try that again. In this new area of the crater, the depth can get deeper than I went in your mind, up to 4,000 meters in depth. And if you know basic physics, you know that you can't just go for a casual swim 1,000 meters under the ocean floor. In fact, the safe diving depth for the average person is only 60 meters. Yeah, so in this game, there will be lots of new features, vehicles, and items that relate to the new depth limit. So first of all, obviously, if you want to swim anywhere below 500 meters for gameplay reasons, you will start to be rapidly crushed by the intense pressure. So you can now craft specialized drip to help you withstand the intense pressure. The same goes for vehicles and now base pieces. Some base pieces will now crack under pressure and different base pieces crack at different depths. Also, a new gameplay feature will be added to English. I hate English. Also, a new gameplay feature will be added to force players to create bases at lower depths. Obviously, just how it works currently, the deeper you go, the harder it is to breathe, so you need vehicles in order to breathe and traverse deeper. But, here's the catch. Some vehicles only work past a certain depth limit because of gameplay reasons. So, you need a place to keep those vehicles and upgrade them. So, therefore, you've got to build bases deep underwater. See? Gameplay. So, I'm not really sure why the last Subnautica game didn't, have any weather or other environmental features. So, in this game, we're going to remedy that. So, first of all, there will be a high and low tide. Now, before you go to the comments and say, but it's a water game, what will that do? Wait, hey, no, stop, no, what the motherfucker? The tides will affect how some of the land portions of the game will play out. For example, at low tide, a cave on an island may be accessible and safe, free to grab any resources as you please, but at high tide, the cave becomes flooded. Creatures roam the cave and the current makes it very hard to swim throughout it. Obviously though, there would be some incentive to go during high tide, despite the perils. Don't ask me what that incentive would be, but it would definitely be something. Another weather feature would be, well, when it's snowing in some of the aforementioned biomes, your temperature will rapidly drop. And when it's raining and windy, the water may be rougher and the currents throughout the sea may be stronger. Speaking of currents, ultimate segue. Currents are a new environmental feature, where at random, currents will appear marked by some kind of epic watery motion lines. And when you enter a current, you will get a major speed boost while swimming or piloting. But obviously, you will be severely slowed down when you swim against it. This is a new phase of the game, kind of like hard mode in Terraria. At a certain point, your ship that crashed explodes. Sound familiar? But this time you can't fix the radiation fallout. This turns the world into a more dangerous place, with creatures becoming mutated and more aggressive, and the beginning regions start to have corrosive water, which means base pieces will corrode and become inhabitable. On top of that, if you don't have the correct protection, you will start dying. Just straight up. Yeah, so you should subscribe if you don't want that to happen to you.